Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless. Michelle Stafford confesses lost soap role. Y&R's Phyllis felt she wasn't pretty enough for daytime. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers reveal that Michelle Stafford, Phyllis Summers, is gearing up for a major milestone at the CBS soap. It's been 30 years since Stafford made her debut as the always entertaining Phyllis Summers, so the show will celebrate with a very special episode on October 18. That episode will obviously be packed full of blast from the past Phyllis moments. I&R fans will be treated to some great Phyllis flashbacks, so it'll be fun to take that walk down memory lane. Whether you love her or hate her, Phyllis keeps things interesting in Genoa City. Stafford has become a huge part of the canvas over the years, but she initially had her doubts about whether she'd ever make it on a daytime drama. In an interview with TV Guide, Michelle Stafford opened up about doing a series of odd jobs before she joined the cast as Phyllis. Although Stafford tried out for other roles back then, she had a history of getting callbacks and then losing the gig to someone else. However, Stafford did get awfully close to scoring a part on One Life to Live. Unfortunately, that led to some disappointing news and some feedback that negatively affected Stafford's perception of herself. Stafford confessed that she was told they wanted someone pretty for the Ola part, so she assumed they meant someone prettier than her. And my agent said no, they really just want someone pretty, so I always just felt like I wasn't pretty enough for daytime, Stafford admitted. Of course, Michelle Stafford is gorgeous and shouldn't have been given that kind of feedback at all. Thankfully, Y&R saw how beautiful and talented Stafford was, so they snatched her up for a role 6 months later. Although the part was supposed to be short-term, it obviously turned into so much more. Between Stafford's role as Phyllis and the time she spent playing Nina Reeves on General Hospital, it's safe to say she's more than pretty enough for daytime despite that ridiculous feedback early on. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis has some gripping material coming up, as she helps Daniel Romalotti Jr., Michael Graziadei, cope with the loss of Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, and could help crack the case. In a world where glossy perfection and the allure of television stars often seem effortless, even the brightest among them sometimes feel a shadow of doubt. For Michelle Stafford, the powerhouse behind the fiery Phyllis Summers on The Young and the Restless, her journey to soap opera stardom wasn't always as smooth as it appeared. A recent heartfelt confession from Stafford revealed her personal battle with self-worth, specifically her belief that she wasn't pretty enough for daytime, an internal struggle that almost kept her from landing one of the most iconic roles in daytime television. When viewers think of Phyllis Summers, they often picture a whirlwind of unapologetic intensity, equal parts seductress, mastermind, and deeply flawed woman. Over the years, Michelle Stafford's portrayal of Phyllis cemented the character as a fan favorite. But behind Stafford's piercing blue eyes and the powerful, complex character she brings to life lies a story of insecurity that feels surprisingly relatable, even for someone in the glamorous world of Hollywood. Stafford recently opened up about her early days in the entertainment industry, long before she became the fierce redhead that soap fans know and love. As she recalled her entry into acting, she mentioned how her path to success was anything but certain. "There were times I didn't believe I had a place in this world," she admitted candidly. "I was surrounded by these beautiful women who embodied what people expected from daytime television, the tall, flawless, picture-perfect heroines. I didn't think I could compete with that." While it's hard to imagine the confident, fearless Phyllis questioning her looks, Stafford's vulnerability humanizes her in a way many fans have never seen. "I felt invisible at times," Stafford continued. "There's this unrealistic expectation of what a daytime star should look like, and I kept wondering if I measured up. Every audition felt like I was walking into a room where I didn't belong." Despite her doubts, Stafford's undeniable talent shone through, but it wasn't an immediate rise to stardom. In fact, Stafford faced many rejections along the way, including one painful lost soap role that left her questioning whether she was cut out for the industry altogether. "There was a part that I really wanted. I thought I nailed the audition, but I didn't get it. They went with someone else. And I remember the feedback was, 'She's great, but she doesn't have that classic daytime look.' It crushed me. I thought, maybe I'm not pretty enough for this world." The sting of that rejection nearly pushed Stafford to give up on daytime television altogether, but instead of succumbing to those doubts, she dug deep, deciding to redefine what it meant to be a leading woman in the soap world. I realized that my value wasn't in how I looked, but in what I could bring to a role. I had something different to offer, and I decided that if someone was going to notice me, it wouldn't be because I looked like everyone else, it would be because I was myself. That turning point came at the perfect moment. Shortly after this internal revelation, Stafford was given the chance to audition for The Young and the Restless. Phyllis Summers was a character who would break all molds. Fierce, determined, a woman with flaws and passions that drove her into dangerous territory time and again. Phyllis wasn't the girl next door or a demure heroine, she was messy, bold, and utterly captivating. Stafford dove into the audition with all the fire that Phyllis would come to represent. I told myself that if they didn't like me for me, then it wasn't meant to be. I wasn't going to hold back anymore, she recalled. The rest, as they say, is history. The casting directors saw in Stafford what the world would soon come to appreciate. A woman who was unapologetically herself, and whose talent couldn't be denied. Once Stafford landed the role of Phyllis, it was clear that her instincts had been right. Phyllis became a sensation, a character that soap fans couldn't get enough of. Her tumultuous relationships, complex schemes, and moments of vulnerability made her one of the most dynamic characters on daytime television. Phyllis didn't fit the traditional mold, and that was exactly why she worked. Over the years, Stafford has embraced the power in being different. Phyllis taught me so much about owning who I am, she said. She's not perfect, she's far from it. And that's why people love her, she's real. I've come to realize that what makes you unique is your strength. I wasn't meant to be the pretty enough girl for daytime, I was meant to be the one who broke the mold. Fans of The Young and the Restless have always admired Phyllis for her tenacity, but Stafford's recent confession shows that her journey mirrors her characters in more ways than one. Just as Phyllis fights for her place in Geno City, Stafford fought for her place in the industry. And just as Phyllis sometimes doubts herself, Stafford's own insecurities once stood in her way. Now Stafford looks back on those early rejections with a sense of gratitude. I wouldn't change anything about my path, she said. Those moments of doubt, those times I felt like I didn't belong, they made me stronger. They made me appreciate the role I have now. I've learned that beauty, real beauty, comes from embracing who you are and letting that shine through. In an industry that often focuses on external appearances, Michelle Stafford's story is a refreshing reminder that confidence, talent, and authenticity can outshine any superficial standard. Her portrayal of Phyllis Summers continues to captivate audiences not because she fits into a box, but because she broke free from it. Michelle Stafford's legacy on The Young and the Restless is more than just her work as Phyllis. It's a testament to her journey of self-acceptance. In her words, I stopped worrying about whether I was pretty enough. I realized I was more than enough.